says oh man we wa ye nuanu man DC for ade omo ye misuro kese eye nipa fa ahodi ayetiatia so no na normally we sa cha ene na kofa nsemba oman mu no ye me ka tia se
and some be say
oh say ne wi ase ene de your body fa na price ba
okay
ye me ka otima se
civil uprising
exactly
okay
because obi feel so what one ono de onye ebone ana waye boni mpa wache no emra kire sese maye boni a ekwa eze me fasuni eti ne we are enjoying democratic dispensation, we are enjoying rule of law, we are enjoying democratic what you say constitution no ma sankrofo no motumi ne mandate to exercise what they are doing no eti kura wo institution mu kura na institution kura ntwitu ya we article 27 na eno so ye ho adwuma eti nyese de obi afa no aye de ope na ba choti de make na se enti as much as ye nim say okay obi so ankasa kwampa so obi incite other public against the alternate obi reputation sabe or say obi ogu obi anim ase oye obi ofa kwambone so a emra so ho ani ni bedi no ade ne ma mra ne nkose ne yete ye me ka atma se eno so da nchen a o hwe ye nua no mandisi fo ya hwe bibi si ye ba aban mu no obehwe a wo ma no mo wo asem e wo court nyina me ka se no ma wi ade ana wo ma dibone cause o hwe ye mra na o se ansa ne ye beka so obi adibone no as a court of competent jurisdiction e find only according guilty
yeah
anya sa wontim ka so adibone ti me ka so wo ma dibone na emom wonim so wo fra bibi is it nolly prosecutor or something say abansi onye interested so obedi wasam
nti on be kwashi case
enti enua no wen dis fo na wa asem nyina so omadi bone o so omuni bone no abansi me de mu nyina mo nkofie owie no start cheche MPP for so we are sad there and you know very risky and they are very dangerous because unim at also hwe ne say we constitution any supreme law of the land emra na wo memu and na masankrofo no mandate to rule us, to administer this country, to do all sorts of things. But our constitution now so was said the sovereignty of this country lies with the people, or within the people. To me now, one emrana diamaono, samrano, na who deal with nipam. Tieni you.
Any woman paying an abe.
Oh, it doesn't matter who you are. It's why you're careful. Na constitution emrani na ama utumi say yanto swaba. Ghana for to aba ma or by was so kama no so one hwe ni ye na wo undermine the constitution no emre wo memu wo toto mra ni nyina ase na ase akwasi de na tiko ama de onko fie kwa me de na tiko kwadwo de onko fie a afi na kwadwo akwasi ne kwa me na wo matiko no o mu na o mu nkrofo so timi sorry gina fi se to me wo mu
and this civil uprising beba
sadly men ka se beba men fama no nka de boni cause enye
okay
but a potential risk that as a country we need to watch out mesre bi nuanu mandisi for e kwan na omodi MPP for faso no enye fe me ntrase nka so obi ni di o mampanya to mampanya do didi na tema ana wo didi panyi bi atema enye kwan papa emra betimi ni wadi yenka no kore.
But can a civil case?
Exactly. A civil case. Say civil case or no so camera no. Aha nyanya criminal offense nkwa criminal case is crowd here. Say ne de nka enye issue kesi bia normally cry ya get wo between wo ene oman no ana meboa. They say law machine kakra. At least me wie mi LLB ntimete kakra.
Adwene mu do.
Oti nyankopon adom kakra. Oti ase misua. Eti kakra me ka akosie ne say I was say ye nuanom so hwe ye kasa yi ko say no ye ni aban mu I just say wo kobobo na anim say officiating emwa referee wo mo yes ani nyina emwa
pitch no kra yiwa
penalty de ye anyi bi ma ntihwe ni ye offside ye beta agio tie say wo sua ho a wo ball long shot
long range
from 40 yards long range ehye enu na o say ye sonson ye hu ye enkire say e o say di hu hye ye mu we can't be controlled by cowardice. Because the Bible crampo na we hear Joshua 1:9. I didn't know catch it. So me idea was do not be afraid, neither be dismayed, for the Lord your God is with you. The same Bible also say, I did not create you with a spirit of timidity nor fear, but that of boldness and courage. Tinyankupo okro boy no ma yetumi bia. Enikwa so mehu. You can't be controlled by cowardice. Me to no. Me say we kum kra we mfa no. Once I'm right. They make out myself. But that doesn't also mean say onsonson ho. Ewi ase ahwe ye e manyi nche. Odi ase. But ye hwe ho so ye no. Ma NDC for nwi say on my way e wo monko ade a. Omo remfi say 92 omo ba bam 8 years later omo lusi. MPP ba bam 8 years later you lusi. Enti uye bibia na wahwe ni cause we ase de obedua no na abetwa. Mo wase yentu ye hofo. Na ye nuanu NDC fuoi. Menka se so obi didi o mampanyi atema eye. Me ntimi didi o mampanyi me yonko kra no no. Sabe me de mani so ahyepa ba me nidi panyi atem. Ma ye political be mfi aduasa. Edi ebi amfom so kra no mankase ya me pacho. Ba me se me di panyi bi atem. Me nye wiase mu da. Obi ane ha ositie. Ba evi obi mpo kasete panyi bi aye omra kwan so. Wontimi nchi nipa no nkohye ba bi asif se ese afi kra de ese ye ma bail.
Yeah.
Na ya mpa de a omra na wo Ghana ha no wohwe ye loss na e de ne ma bill treasonable offenses murder ene no kra ye ma
bill say
what you say na wohwe ye constitution na ye wo I think it's article 14 I stand to be corrected period within which any kwaso omo obi shem eche ektra
48 hours
what you say any kwaso o man yesa enti mesre say e wo se ye hye niam because we ase ye wo no eto de so pam ohufu wa oto ne beba minim de make out myself de omo ye de betumi aduru baabi ebi a omo mpe de eto so mienu we ekoso nyina international bodies ni hwe and our country has become the world or the globe has become a small village 107.3 and because of global interactions in this animal no o ye bibia ye hwe ye rate oman no investors hwe we nu nyina because investors etimi translate analyze say oman rule of law here adwuma na
okay
omu sika no majapade akese companies ko countries bi omu hwe niam bebre because ohun say rule of law no anya adwuma yi a na wa shift ko if it be property entrenchment property entrenchment na wo emrem no e kire say oman ne oman a mifimi kroso na be majapade wo ha na BBC a oman no bebo me ne me property ho ban ana enti ato da omuhwe niam ekoso oman no anu se kro wei wan hwe na wunya asem a omumra no omuni so papa nti omumfama see all these things have economic impact
investor confidence where you are
ni nyina ka ho bi it affects FDI it affects external investment it affects a lot of things about because I had no investment here did agro I do a lot of works for other foreign investors. One work no, oh yeah, mo investment appraisal na, and a business plan. Oh yeah, mo man, yeah, yeah, no be honest, I know. And you mo share and son no more move it to other countries. No, one of them a political risk. Within the political risk, you know, these are some of the definitional elements or components or underlying variables they look at or independent variables. Or mine emra to saying, emran omudim omwamra. Coming can man, sovereignty. Now, sovereignty, dear, then a state na autocracy or na in fact, how did they exercise their laws? It won't be standing here with some croway or trama, and Raya Juma. It is a be cranny a boomia, and ran be the idea, amani. All these things are very important. It's necessary. The next thing, a reputational risk, or many munyam. Yeah, can you know? Send you nipa when you no. On mine, in a way, an artificial person. Send your company artificial person. It is your crisis of a country. I remember be a case, and we are seeing you. Oh, Ghana, a dear Ghana, I just see a power back on say the entrenchment of our democracy.
Yes,
especially within West Africa.
Kabi, I mean, Kabi, no.
Exactly. And you be a respectful. Yen your high we are home. Ghana, Unama. See a African countries, mako bebre mako Djibouti, mako South Africa, mako bebre African countries in fact mako bebre no da ebi am dwamanu. Mako Morocco no nyina na ye kaso ye Ghana ni a enye easy. me koya me masters wo UK ɛna yɛne professor baako yɛ discussions but not turning to informal agro ɛnam sɛ ne yɛkɔyɛ lecture bibia nam ka so meyɛ we a hey you have to take care of me say Ghana who say how do you say agro but also I thought you were a Ghanaian or now you are becoming no mention country be West Africa obroni o ma Ghana da and so me ka sa na yes agro no o say Steven, I thought you were a Ghanaian. And now you are from this country.
Oh, taking it serious.
Oh, I'm finding too serious. But to show the respect they have for us, the preference, the dignity they accord us with. What you say? Probably some level of trust they have in us as compared to the country I'm talking about. Country me money West Africa. Enti, we are they study a lot about us. Mesri minianu mendisifo. Ye nipa baako so obi no nya adwena ensese utietia na fa hodie so waye bibi na mfata emra ne de yes the law is no respecter of any person. The law doesn't really care about one's social stratum or one's domain or segment along the social stratification, whether you are rich or poor, whether you are colossal or dwarf, whether you are from the rural or urban area, whether you are well educated or not, whether you are, you are whatever it is in society. Once the law catches you or catches up, I mean, you are subject to the law. It has to be equally. And Tino will say, when it comes to justice, there's a problem when the people that are being governed, the distribution of justice is not being done equally among those governed. It's also one of the maxims of equity in law. What do you say? When it comes to say, ye nyina ofia, ya hyehye mra. Emra ne say, o ko washuma ohoronsa. Oba fa sanitizer ya wonsa. Osu odi de omfanye. Emra ne mfanye hwe. Ba me ma anya ni amam suspension. What it means is that justice is not being fairly and equally or equitably distributed among the governed.
Selective justice.
And that is very dangerous. Into me the mesre. Me pacho. And painful be okra to da president no. Oma famra ashe. But me gidi say the way MPP for aye dede Ghana for nyina aye dede no ba na de President Mahama wate. And I beg him for about 2-3 years to leave office. Ya pesi enya state manner. Me nya ndisi ni die ba mpena some respect no. Onya legacy a ni din no yemfa niam bi antata ho. We are the leader e beta ho but be kofom. Say na no man panyi kufo to hwi. E de anya obi a na beka no asem papa but a lot of the people even some NDC people respect him. Ba man panyi anhwe ya obegya niam bebre. Who janonso no so wa abusuafo wo ma obi anya o mo hwe but you might not know when
Omo be
fum obi. Ne de kakra me kan kusie no. Ba ye kan so yeso utu okrafo a na otu mo ne sofo. Ye nuanom so ye hwe ye kasa so yi. Ye hwe ye kasa yi. I think say we are getting into a lot of modernized kind of ecosystem. And it be eba kasa bi so ho a enye mama me yanka say we kan ti we anka. Enye. But the facts will be a kasampa enye no. And the entertainment yes kasa bi okro ni akro ani obi atem.
Ba ko de ekra de post. Doomso is back. No de or any say billboard. No de mampani mfonyini territory.
Oh na so de ntia mra bia. Ana eno so etia mra menye law no nya bibia na mennim. Enye omampani de enye fe. But we de senkenya atem didi. Ana we atem didi. Eni ese ni esi di ayi nanado atemi de eni se kufu de ko be chi obi atum ogana. And some ye kugu nanado so no unprecedented in the political history of this country. Unprecedented. It's mesre. Nkrofo nyai kasa emfata no. Na afi so aban no so wote no. Afi de eya doso. Say if other people feel that there is no legal protection, they are not enjoying the needed democratic dispensation, they are not protected. Their fundamental human rights are being breached. There's something called natural inertia. Natural inertia, and they say, there's a default defensive mechanism. There can't be a default defensive mechanism. What you say is here, open massam respectively. Nyamin pen will be an enemy to your shows. Ebi a me ho ade, meeting my ball back up over to form. But a bedroom baby, no, the natural inertia in you, the default defensive mechanism in you can trigger your adrenaline. One idea obey your hand. And then they do crab out SMBC. And when that thing becomes collective, it's very dangerous for any society. It does a level now. So you for intimate microphone.
Nipa 20 na be queen.
There be intimate po. Etimamo me knew that level. Ghana has gone so far to come back. Or too far to come back. Sorry. Ghana. Nyamia ya dum ya dodo ya ho and this in NPP and yanom. Maintain in terms of ideology, political ideas, processes, the way I want to be mind. The major difference between NPP and DC. And one say, in economics, they adopt contractional fiscal policies most of the times. We adopt expansionary. Into the private sector.
And the move mine.
Into the tax be bree. You try say you be private sector. I'm chronoma be no fan crofo. NDC a social democrat. Ye more of encrophobia. And come the dear pa oba bibi to say jurisprudence in law. Your something principle justice or say principle of justice. So whatever. Yenye to each according to your work. In can people no. By NDC Diana come there to each according to his need. It can NDC for no dear. Oma buy no omo ebeje to bebre. Na abai na and kaya here for no. Free water, free this, free that, free that. About all to the mention. It can couple mu kura and case many pa hoton more. Minister they make answer. It can a sharp difference between and woman. Until you can ideologies. Now where the baby I could do say dear. I say NDC for a yaje. This Trump card that say record whatever say NDC dear. Umyaba bema. Oh yeah, I say soldier buying call papa. Oh yeah, I say soldier buying. What's I did we say the abandon the soom. Kakra.
Say yes, I cotton.
Oh dear, oh, but Saturday cotton here they go to a lot of genetic friend is genetic cytosis so can near baby say those things Oben say go to processes genetics odias be recessive and recessive and then dominant cells. So they go into those levels. We say, "Tia na changing behavior." Tia friends'anka, my friend social metamorphosis.
Okay.
By now, the second this year go through that social metamorphosis. Say, "You do maybe a come in cabinet say yejuma." Then yet, sebi macho, ame will be whom, and will be so cool the other day. And the class again, oh yeah, Yamrano, criminal law, ye death penalty free.
Yeah.
Constitution in a yin free. Into no creating some controversial space here. I think it's very soon. Because I said this a mayor statement in Parliament. Me and check it because Constitution, hasn't dealt away with that when it comes to treason.
In the case of Abronye, the lawyer, Honorable Kojo Ponkroma, Edin Komano.
Also, way a shot. Some economy. How they can do the.
I say Omunya even access to Abronye, and you dangerous.
Ene na man ye hu minim ade abro nya konye ebi a okasetia obi okasetia panyin bi okasa ade enya mmeremase ye che no ba menyini so obi kasetia obi na nya sei na ose ye no
okay mira
bia make atmase emra no ma no ho kwan say dem kokan I think article 14
yes
emma no ho kwan say o say ni liberty emma no say be bail ana meboa otiase ne no ko gina asemdi bia ne hweso aye boni bia nessa asotwe bi o ha ana ebe pardon na but the omu ye die ese abronye akoso meda ana say waye treasonable offense bi But yeah, cancel. I will see you to a broyefo. Ma yenye ho say because NDC for yebi, yes you be yebi. Make that kind of politics, and I want to shy away from.
Okay.
So that we can really develop this country and build the needed resilience, not only in the area of our economy, but in our social setup. Develop a very healthy, a very strong, resilient ecosystem that among ourselves we can ensure healthy and very progressive interactions between us, and among us. I think it's very important.
Matter quickly the economy. And this year by say yenya stable economy. And macroeconomic indicators in no. Macroeconomic indicators in no. Osha, Bibia so green. Bibia so green dia. Ahabaimono, that means a year. Inflation are dropping 3.4%. CDI appreciating policy rate, the FN interest rate. O kwajebo siyansi huwa esi huono. Yesi ano so abafom. But only makola form 18 koma. Almost yen ma de. Sa wona ma na kofa Medina. Amam for sisikani ebotom cry de beto ade. Papa train e den beba macroeconomic indicators in be so green. Abaimono na still amam for hu be kire mo wo man mo.
Yo, say the edi kind no. Me be me nchi etiefo, me chi etiefo. I think say you gave me a preamble space. No, it's my fault. Okay. Me start your seminar can make fetch me. Timi chi etiefo. About economy of this country. I will say the be akinya be 5 hours kan ho asem. Problems here on my economy no. I thought that mitimi tie nkrofo na mesre. Enye se bia being too no say minim sin obi a. There be your nkrofo minim sin me. But they say yenye ready say ye solve problem na nkasa ana manya semunti e ba che o asem ebusa me last one aban be no abaga na ha also no samone about primary macro indicators, inflation, GDP, this Ghana for one car say hu na ebutum o hu bi da wo de wa yen kan okre aban bia ba sa na oka aban bia sa na Ghana for oka say MPP na also inflation, you need about 7% for a long time.
Yeah.
GDP need grow 7% for about 3 years. Primary balance, never form cry, Kosura about 4 months something. In fact, about 2016, na GDP 3.4. 3.4. What I say? But in the first 3 years, not that 7%. One of the best in the world when it comes to economic growth. And the excesses of the way we manage the economy, we're able to even implement one of the most enviable and in terms of international and national character or reputation, it means implementing free SHS. By the time I need a inflation, Ghana for assembly and no more. Oh, they can hear Concade.
I must say,
a baby abbas, I know Moka. It's a man and Crofobia crowd, you say. And then that professor was a doctor back. I'm respect what being pa. No, I can't say you paper economy, no practical economy, just because of what you're saying. But I want to explain to Ghanaians. I think so many years back, Achapa, meaning so back Achapa, Ekrabian, Yenimfi say. And this year buying, I try to influence, I think statistical service figures. Emma World Bank, Emma Eboyeka. And only idea see a mekaya che. Say, yeah, per se. Statistical service, you ma power mo ye wa Ghana he. Figure mo de bani nyina, ye per se ka se nya no kra na. They make count ma say.
Me too pa.
Adenti na sa figures no kosoro de a. Ni age atum ni ebo abanyachi. Say inflation call 54.1 because of world crisis. E dey na man kan feel. Ada na ndi man kan say na dey nyi ebutum asem. Na ba forma be do 22.9 na ba single digital and yes in ebutu no more say they don't feel it practically, they are not lying. Now I want to explain to you e we are se fana nyina no there were two main market economies. two main broad you can't two and yet exhaustive because we being exhaustive and just say there could be others but broadly I can see no but you tell me pa
me too pa
your dear friend aggressive sector market economy and your dear friend defensive market economy. Aggressive sector market or aggressive market economy no. A country na companies are kesieni ade oni nyina no. Ye free bibi systematic risk index susu dua bi. As a probability if is 0 ekopem 1. Na baby a aggressive sector no. So wo hwe market economy na almost systematic risk index so kan nyina bom na o fane average bia for the events like industry either 1 or 0.9 very close to 1 what I say it could be between 0.9 and 1
okay
the actually nyina ne say economy no gina say the enya figures na economy 10% sankrofo na brabo ne market ne impact no so konanim 10%. Okay. It's a very strong positive correlation. And we develop economies, we giant companies, bank capitalization, sanity. Any what defensive sector or defensive market economy.
And here, dear him.
And here, Ghana for the and no, one no, I have far below 1. A big to my 0.2.
Defensive market economy, no. Okay.
The Atiana say, Yaniano, predominantly SMEs.
Okay.
Enyuma bojo ankete. Se economy na wa ha no ekwe nanim 10%. Ye ye movie and ye gina 1. Ebe chanti ye wo very long lag period. Lag period. Ebi anka wokọ yesa meko. Ba wokọ e chance na maba.
Adenti na me de na basa.
E na me chiro m say ye market no sa nete. De me kan otumase.
Me to asepa.
Enti mprepie no meka bibi achiro onim say ewiase seye no edurumre bi wiase say to the extent say na wiase GDP no e grow 0. No na wiase GDP e grow negative 3.3 she say wiase kuro ekonachi enyini mu that time na Ghana grew 0.5 say 0.5 covid time na wiase say kura no that time na inflation 54.1 exchange rate dinam 50 something you lose your bibia but when you say last quarter 2024 na MPP be free so no you beto aba me a year no na your GDP na 0.5 na about 5.6 impone so sin 2016 na primary reserve na international reserve okay primary balance na even inflation na 54.1 na ba bedru 22.9 etinenka yare ekuye ne a na say yare no na aka eho symptoms na bia wani aye pay ni ade untimi ya fed was started didi enti MPP restore the economy but the American Chinese say because of lag period no na impact no was not felt
okay
Ghana for were still going through that pain. And it was one of the reasons they still voted against us. But Senenka aggressive market economy. And you sunny bar from him no readily in Crawford feeling. And also much share economy and said that wages are a cosana affect wages. Aketuya. A cosana affect rent. Ekosana affective bibia anti kama but hano we have very distorted foundation when it comes to our economy.
Okay.
So even sometimes above from say kura na if you run a rent in want so gas no a chance and so better so akatua ebetimi a charge just 1 year. I hope you understand what I'm saying. Enti enye se bia ya na economic figures na enya correct per the statistical service thing and enye se Ghana for na complain no wo mo boa eto da bi so dey propaganda anyway. However, the type of say SMEs occupy almost 90% of about 90% of our market economy. What do you say?
Okay.
Ejuma boja and the doors on Ghana. Omo risk, systematic risk index is sakura. Ain't any very strong correlation with our economic performance. And this one, you can bring any professor to prove me wrong.
Right. So the economic.
If you say they make what you
say, I
think, sir, if there is any glory, it should be a shared glory. Maybe me profession. And this for the catch room say, woman or my economy now. I'm an ICA, no careful. And MPP so can say, and this in your shade, almost no careful. Even when it comes to economic policies, like how our policy tools are you use to majorly, okay, but not exhaustive. Because I just said there could be others, but broad ones, partner. Economy system near well structured, there, papa, and three. You're about cooking a no policy too. No policy say, I buy no any and she should be a community in Arabia friend self limiting.
And what to me
that the system no instead of papa, and to me if that will work here. Any other your friend fiscal policies. Fiscal policy, no, I buy no how what this Ikayim Puntunuma, how our taxes were increasing those things. Out here, any what monetary, any Bank of Ghana, send you see manage a sick assembly, and same way, if you be negative equity, negative balance, you be just a binum demonize, no need those things in a sanya mano, and no case all my technical explanation. Why we because they all contradictory party. And now I'm technical explanation so will be to be obvious now I will be as PhD in this and I will behave, you know. But you to say because Bank of Ghana, Central Bank of Ghana, it doesn't go bankrupt. Central Bank of Ghana ain't even more cat Emma on mine betria. And be honest with you. There are so many things me feel say that fundamentally no I was saying now to you develop your mind no echo the way it is. See, I can see di we propaganda. Yes, we have propaganda. Media madwumene no. Ama Ghana for you fed up with us. But emom ye chirem. Ni ama Ghana for ti ase say ade na NDC de boy no. Omu di atro. Omu ye say te say the cocoa board aso omu koyin. Equity, unzo omu ye bi. Banking equity, negative equity. But it's used as a tool all over the world. Czech Republic. Oh, the upper, mekwa, well, Google has say. I mean, the use of negative equity as a tool by Bank of Ghana to stabilize currencies at the same. Oh, the world checking.
But I know
the American
impact no our mind so to say.
It depends. Say, if you have very solid fiscal space, na and sell consistently, I had it with me issue all the time. It's done. Because Bank of Ghana and go bankrupt. Bank of Ghana, by obligation, they don't have to. Central banks, in general, they don't have to adhere to international financial reporting standards. In the Bank of Ghana, you can't, and you're there, bankrupt.
Okay.
And so they can use that as a tool to make sure, say, once you're here, I did Ghana pay debt to GDP. They be you run it, me West, my friend, or ritual deficit. If we be negative effective tax rate economy. You can negative effective tax rate economy. And the chairman say, Safi Biasika, ye jano memuano. Ye chairman fear what Ghana hanging and if you ba could be 1,000 Ghana cedis. Sika Safeno, a binding you should yam puntunumano. What chairman fear na, a so saying the ye generate to your running deficit.
Can be the acadian.
Most of the times, about 90%. So once you have that situation, then you have a country your fiscal space is always having challenges. Because even when it comes to direct tax, any part about 34 million, may catch us home to direct tax, yes, also about 10%. What it means is that because direct tax normally when you said you need and me in the Wutio, a chesa Ghana, and you pardon one near Juma, Omutia tax. It's the economy now, yeah, and I thought that you did, no, Papa. There are so many fundamental anomalies.
Okay.
Now, say MPP bad near to me, Boko, anymore, and this is by not Sanya man. But fundamental, fundamental anomalies in our honor, you fix it. Mamma Bako. Exchange rate NDC for us almost some money. ya na me yasa Ghana no ebi MPP ne so tada ya communication na minimum dia me nka se ya nya ade o because ade NDC ntimi nya krom ntimi ya propaganda Ghana fo nyina di o machi. How can any government or any party or government takes power now within 2 months one wetimi ama dollar him yes or no? How can you say any no me? The government have not even spent on one crore point is one to your muka. And the other no dollar. I don't know why. Even as of now, big push. Can you calculate the percentage of big push product or results as a percentage of our GDP? No.
No.
Because they are in the process. I still think NDC hasn't gotten to even the deliverable stage. I cannot blame them and you cannot praise them. But in fact, any dollar ni CDA, number one factor, fundamentally, air demand and supply.
Okay.
When you say, oh, banchi bebre guha, okoton abuano wofom.
Say a dose will be anto.
Thank you. But banchi ho ya dia ne bu okosoro. By December, between December and January, now Bank of Ghana you receiving over $1 billion because MPP are buying a domesticate their friend cocoa syndication. When say afibiano ya kojibosiano wa buchiri ya kojibosiano wa buchiri eni abeto cocoa etisika billions na ba wutu amomo ho ye ho akire but that year no ya domesticate into the Ghana banks etu omo ba betua sa sika no eba Bank of Ghana.
Okay.
Eti na akura Ghana mu ene the sharp ade na ba eno true. Near year elections I'm very peaceful. Eti na confidence of international investors no asa apija esa rebuild don't say kokra because of problems no. Na primary macro indicators no so ma o currency so nya ahoden no. Then nyina start yeye o reserve o GDP o this na sa period na so na American for ni major trade partner Asians no so nya ntoka tariffs won o kai ti na demand for dollar on the globe so akofom na nya ndisi na yeye okay eti ndisi so baaye no 2 years these things are still going down. And I think, to me, majorly it's because of free nana economy because of MPP's good management of the economy to restore it. And now buy and also no. We are at forcing the strategy is to also make sure say or share expenditure so.
Okay.
Or share how be country expenditure.
To spend bebre.
I hope you understand what I'm saying.
But I know your fiscal discipline.
Maybe now say fiscal discipline MPP yeah. Obekaya IMF conditionalities near D. Sena tabuna there so na emienson. Yenya first staff approval. First executive board approval. Second staff approval. Second executive board approval. Eti ye kapa ade ne dodo no. Ye passy enya ye financial and as a fiscal independence no MPP ye mu be 60% to 70 be 70%.
See a bag from IMF.
Exactly. Yeah 2/3. Ena fofi anto ata ene 2 year. Ena omo so etimi abeya ato aso.
Right. So
yeah
is it from IMF no and one and I say conditions bi o san wo bibi we
one more can be to say PCI.
Ani ade
is a policy coordination instrument. Na no kra chinye kakra ba ho. Mesre mi nuanom me huhu letters be called rounds. Say because the letters seeks to illustrate say as a imposition on NDC because there's no trust in the NDC's government or management of the economy.
Yeah.
But PCI, I heard the MSM Crawford, PCI a voluntary tool. Member countries of IMF can decide, they have their prerogative and an exclusive right to say, may yet and I mean yet. A new imposition.
Okay.
Now, a policy alignment and a survey as benchmark and na BBA almost said that instruments be omitting media check every 6 months say who goes no we are more discipline and na dia check now some information so when IMF and NASA international bodies I mean IMF with this situation information yeah na it becomes useful to the international or foreign investors because I don't pay information if you no credit rating agencies it means
okay
about to the mechanism
Ethiopia
until we na yes we so you can go for it said there be I still want the PCI to help me and check me a non-financial
okay and now
but exactly but a voluntary
okay
by the member country
right
but baby I can person me de manusia hawa mesre minua Ghana for so far as we still remain an import driven economy the likelihood that one day we'll still go back to IMF is high. So far as certain key economic fundamentals are not dealt with, the probability, the likelihood, the propensity, say a back back, a high. The entire American say, yet you say, fully, you need economic independence.
Yes.
On my unemployment is still high. O me we school unim. Me ye work bi me we a me say me ye new research bi. Na me develop a framework bi. E we say standard definition of employment. Eye wo ma ye employable looking for jobs but they are not employed. They don't have jobs.
Review.
Those who are employable and they are seeking jobs but they are not getting or not employed. TNU. It is a Ghana high any per 100 and a 70 and a employable, almost scale and almost educated, and almost share Juman. And a mubia 50 per 70 in because of full employment. But 30 big I think we need to look at a second definition of unemployment because I think share woman go abontia oni scale on co school onye adwuma bia yemfo me share employment definition
okay
but they pose the same risk and burden. So in dealing with those definitions we need to redefine the definition element so it will help us to develop strategies and policy frameworks as a country and they can when they be any free so intimi nya enye productive 7.3. You see, on my most of the times on our market, I buy to me kobobosia, nyabontin, or may muabosia, your domestic market at a higher rate than private sector. It's not done in any properly set up economic jurisdiction. Will be a challenge me. In fact, technically, it's one of the major problems the country will go through. I said, there be an no. I say, yari bi what ni foundational course, underlying course. You share symptoms in your treaty. Say, a buying 80 bobosia on our market. No amount interest rate in Sinhua is so saying banks in the private sector are very dangerous. Do you know what happens? Ama obie kresika, one kra wo mom, wo ye adwuma wo hia sasika on family. Because your free be risk categorization, risk and return categorization. Say Bank of Ghana, no me from Bank of Ghana, Eco Bank, Okobon Bosia, na bo me Bosia, yemi enu de na usika wan hia winya. Thank you. It is some me de no, me more returns. It is the higher risk, the higher expected returns. In that categorization system no or framework no, abibia is seen as abai good democratic sovereign whatever is seen as risk free. Nti abai o kobo abai bosia. Unu say
e samafo nya gidie wa abai no bosia.
Enhyehyɛ mu risk ni ho. Abai de e na obetua. Eti normally ka abai de no e na say ensi ho no e wo fam kura ye so low. They make out yes. And to say, be a mimi to a, you can invest in Sika or Eco Bank. They are more friend face deposit. Eco Bank, Sikano, the mamma means in Chrome Hanka, dear friend, treasure bill, and I are binding. It's be economy, so treasure be 20% at the home, dada. And sad because we take a risk, you know, you do account to the me call other banks, then are buying bonds, be a treasury bills in Ukraine, just treasury bill especially. It should be 10% and now 20% a treasury bill. I see the plus account to be about 21, 2023 because risky.
Okay.
But Ghana had thought that even T-bill, no, Emma returns more than the risky assets. Listen to the practical aspect so that we end it here. Banks no do one actually music kwa buy ho. And in a ma, oh yeah, DDP in a kai kese pa no. Ko banks no suffice. Oh, instead banks is kabe man kran no.
No.
Ope aban na no risk free osama me more. Me wa do sika be ma. Enti ama ye run it me friend double digit interest rate economy. Se omu do musika be ma wa odisi hu kese because we wan ha untua da ban no betu afri no beje a me de be ma ntimi de be ma de a ene ye de da ho ye kese and because of that no ankran nyuma na eso creative jobs man crofo nya adwuma ye o man mu no minua omu nya enough money no obenya enough money kwa sika na ye ketua bi nto omu ntimi nya invest emie bi adwuma mu mfa ye 18 unemployment one of the reasons. Two, and now say a human being produce a lot. They can meet aggregate demand. Okay. So my name is here. Produce. And you see a force called credit frabble treba. It is a crasso the idea demanding more foreign currency.
Okay.
So there are so many technical and underlying anomalies here economically. As a country, we need to sit down. Develop tailor-made frameworks and specific frameworks to deal with our specific risk factors as a country. Okay. It is a lot. Look, if you have a boy and go so corruption, the second body to help fight corruption in every country, law enforcers, police for mebwa. Mimisa. I did 50 years at you. Now me Trump papa came, na police give me bribe. And na police give me bribe. So this practice has gone on for 50 years.
It's very acceptable.
Chairman President be no abo so hu. Me a me gina me so hu. But sometimes we overlook these small things. Na police ni a sabe nya police for nyina na tesa me ensay wo mu. But police ni a otimi gina kwa ho je 10 cedi 5 cedis. Se me ko wi o man sika, na yeso onyo me prosecution officer. Na me ko no fie kwa ma no 50,000 obey document ndey.
O ni asem no creative.
Na obesi ye niam basa. Enti no omman no, look, a country such as Ghana, your forest, semi-forest, savannah, semi-savannah, your coastal belt. Ensuo twe ho ahia in terms of human development index. Yesua de sen Burkina Faso 100 times. You won't sue bebre. You mango popo, your lithium, manganese, iron, your gold, your bauxite, your salt. You'll be baby. And campa yenian bebre, and chum bottom near noon be export to be yakra. And the boss, after that, look, and I must shift another thing. As a man who was a car, let me to your media near your. You can lead this country. You can be a good appointee. You can be a good minister. You can be this. But that is not how you run a healthy country. One of the cardinal principles on which Asian countries, Singapore, were built was meritocracy. It's also one thing we need to look at if we want to build a very independent economic system, sustainable one, very resilient. Because I will say productivity here, Juma. Oh, baby, out. What's my bang? No PhD, me boy. What the matter have been to me yet?
Of course.
That's the essence of building a country. Exactly. It's a very big configuration of key resources and core competencies. Oh, each player is good, but will be a center back. We are good. What the ball striking? Yeah. Now, I'm saying Crawford is selfish. He pissy cantino, and Crawford said that for position for appointment in positions in the agro no so nim se ke ka pa anye ho na ho de wo me ka we ya me ndi obi atam obi no de aye code card no obi di watam no obi kan nye se fa me hu na ne de ye me bi ni we. But so far as I serve a living God, me am a sinner. But idea me gidi say me tunu si we say me politics because more this strong passion for society. Me nya also abofo. Ene do be kumi kura nya hwe.
Okay.
Wo de can dey wo pay. But me feel said this country can be built if all of us collectively will revolutionize a mindset. See, I revolutionize a mindset. Open develop it all. In fact, is it Keynesian or whatever economic policy? Papa, forget. Debbie, Debbie, interest ya. No, afraid IMF, no World Bank, no more conditionalities. No more anyway. As a man or diabetes. Debbie, I say, many sugar, the sugar. Debbie. But this is a country we have been blessed so much by God, highly endowed with wide range of commercially viable natural resources and raw materials. If we can work on our mindset, if we can, because in terms of labor force and the skill component of the labor force, we are one of the best in Africa.
You will be.
Yes, our raw materials. NT and na campo yakra. NT will be we school 4 or 5 years not if your mindset.
Right.
Thank you very much.
I say, and what the Yako school pa, and I wish to say, oh, Obebadi Yako school kakra.
Me pa try am pa English for any chow mami. Emre bi omo frɛ me, and am say member. Say time we do you na, omo frɛ me me kasa phone so. Say na phone no da baby. Enti me ye bone, and I nya bo apayo. Obi o me fu say na me pese me kasa.
Mera say.
Enti omo fa me bone.
Me pa try no doctor say.
Na me kasa so ma no from ya, obi mfa nche me.
Okay.
And I'm on here TikTok ni your friends say code card ni. Omutimi tro na ma won kan ye, wonya obi hu ya no be attack. We all want to build a healthy socio-economic environment and work on our ecosystem.
Okay.
So that Ghana na Burkina Faso timi ka say me tomatoes. Na ye me sua. Is it not too dangerous?
Okay. Mera say Supremo tena say. Supremo la on jabra. On a di jama be kwa koja akwan yo. Oso wasa no ntimi nsa o. Ba ku bi a we on sa. O sa na edu atem so.
Hey, the one him say, we dey sanya on air.
Anya on. Yanko.
No, ba me kuna kan on air. 1 minute.
Okay.
When him say, ana obi e pibibi etia obi. No de na ba form e wo politics. Eti fo mu say, o de onye perfect ba wo wi sika. Oh, with your integrity. Oh, said the Uncle can. Oh, as Messi do ya, the old woman. Oh, man, a jumo in ye. Opa commercial care. Messim plan this work with my. Me call you myself, no sit here. Me, I see you, na me inspect the toilet every Monday morning. Me call for front. Me give me jacket. After 6 months, na was and yen na Ghana hair show. Aye, black rasta. Unsa no hame. Oba me call so says, no, na campaign mammy. Menkasa me perfect. Enti obi pewa ade mpa ehia wo ya yenka hwe wo kwa na obi aseda katekate no elaborate no wa se dey define in a very bad way. Send ye be ya wunya panyi bi animonyam.
Okay.
Na ye twa wafiri wo no ono abenya. Obenya nso a gosi akobi ane ne mbobo na oso watintintinte na opim wa no wajibo obobi aso afa nchen. Ebu bi afa nchen nti dakubi opim ko bushe mo say go na ya fefe say na bi e ma she
se camera say